I guess this is just this is where we live.
This is where we live. Well, remember this was a pick of Renekton here, blind for Dplus because they were concerned that Zeka was going to get a strong mid pick that might surprise them otherwise. He just takes the Azir that was open with the Akali and Sylas protection bands. They don't take Gnar here as HLE. They're looking for a little bit more engage and peel and a matchup where Kingen can't lose against Kana's Renekton. He won't win either, probably. I think we're going to be playing around topside here, but it's just like, all right, we're scaling. Grog's going to be tanky. Kingen going to do Kingen things. And this comp for HLE has synergy. It has a clear path, right? I like this draft a lot better for them than I did the Game 1 draft. And Dplus kind of walked into this one a little bit. And I don't hate the Victor. It's going to do very strong things.
Here we are on the Rift for Game 2. See whether this Azir win rate can continue just extending to infinity, because it really has not found too much hindrance in that particular trajectory thus far. And we'll see whether the Victor is going to be enough to push it off the edge. And look, I'm not super inspired.
I'm not. This is a draft that has a lot of frontline for the Victor, and it has a Wukong, so...
Oda Renekton, and Renekton just saying, all right, I guess I'll kill minions. And that will happen for about 20 minutes in this game.
Yeah. Level 2, very strong here for the Lulu. You can see the normal runes here, Airy, Scourge. And she is going to be putting that pressure on with the barrier that Viper has taken. Deft has to take Cleanse into this Sejuani. And the Gragas, of course, another issue. So you are losing a lot of power here, but that's just the nature of the beast in these drafts. So this Lucian feels a little bit weaker than it could have been if the draft was different, right? So your bottom duo that... you know, Deft obviously has played Lucian in the late game so extremely well. It's something he was so famous for in our Worlds qualifiers and then at Worlds itself.
Yep.
Klid's down here.
He is, but they're running out of minions pretty quickly. I think it's a risky dive, to say the least, especially with some lower health bars, so they're not going to risk it.
And Klid can identify, okay, Canyon is topside. Look at where Kingen is. He's not taking any chances.
Yeah.
Even though it's like early game Wukong, you just don't want to risk it. Now,
ooh, that was a big hit, though.
Yeah, they could actually commit.
Well, we'll see whether Klid can actually make this one work. He's at full health right now. It's an early cleanse as Deft gets underneath the turret. Gets out of the way as Viper's going to be taken down. It's a disaster for HANWHA Life Esports, and now Kellen is just chasing them down the rift. Oh no, HANWHA Life Esports, they botched the dive.
Viper slams his fist on the table. You can see there as well. Very frustrated. The botch of the dive is really going to hurt.
Oh, now your flash from Showmaker as well. Fantastic. There's the flash forward from Canyon. All too easy. Red buff's going to help out. And that is a second kill. HANWHA, I think that bot dive honestly has wiped HANWHA from the map.
Oh, yeah. I mean, baited in Zeka. You have... It's my speculation, right? We'll see what happens in reality. This game is far from over. It still is a scaling area, zero comp here for HLE, and the lead that was picked up in both mid and bottom is not so substantial that we're already pulling the obituary out.
Well, Zeka is going to find Klid here, and there is no flash available on Showmaker, so he's just dead. There's the scoop. That is the classic Azir into Victor.
Yeah. I mean, Victor, no flash. It's just coming up here for Showmaker, but the timing is great. Klid looked for one angle, comes back a second time when he has his ultimate. And it's just as clean as that. Now Canyon really going to struggle to hold on to this Herald.
Well, he's going to see what he can do. Does secure it. There is the eye. Oh, is he able to pick it up? Oh, just barely. As Canna's here bodyguarding him. And now going to be able to walk away. So, collects that one just barely in time.
Wukong's so good at turning those fights with the Renekton, though, with ult available. Flash for both Wukong there and the Renekton means that HLE are like full point in this exchange. So he gets out, luckily. Nice glitter lance there from Life. And Canyon is just like, I can prevent any sort of collapse from any angle here on this Wukong. Very difficult to play this one out, and they can use the Rift Herald now for some extra prio here, guaranteed.
Oh, this gravity field is so strong. Chaos Storm there as well, just to make sure that Shirley is going to make contact with this outer turret. She will do so. And yeah, spectator bug, something like that, weird error. Anyway, the tower dies and then Shirley goes in.
Kana and King and trade team.
Oh no, Klid's taken down. That is Soul Point, and that is done. Wild Growth does come through. May actually be enough cooldowns as that is Glacial Prison and Wild Growth. And this should mean that DK can just move back and collect themselves a Drake already. Canna is getting to work on it. He's playing PvE this game. It's Showmaker trying to do damage where he can. Good gravity field placement yet again as Kingen. Oh no, it's Canna's worst enemy. Kingen coming on in there. Will he actually do anything damage-wise? Looks like the answer's no, but he can be very frustrating. Zeka finds an Emperor's Divide, but it's on to Kellen. He flashes out. Now Canna gets into that backline. He flashes after the Lulu and picks up the kill. Viper's at full health, though, and that is the important part. Kingen body slamming his way out of there as the nimble gentleman that he is.
Drake still not taken, and HLE is the best fight you could hope for. You can crash this wave in.
Yeah, but if there is a reset, then it's going to be 4v5, right? As Viper has to dash to get out of the way of the gravity field. So Dplus here, they have their cake, they eat it too.
Yeah, unfortunately here for HLE, Depth's flash was so well timed when Zeka came in for the scoop attempt that was performance.
It's very important, as Canyon was just looking to try and pressure Zeka. Wanted to get himself a cooldown or two, but doesn't get one.
Canyon here.
Well, there it is. Cyclone comes in, Showmaker now just moving on over. They knew that Shifting Sands was going to come through as the turret falls on the bottom side of the map. Multiple positions of pressure for Dplus here right now as Clid was looking for a way in.
Kana has TP. They have a Leandri's on this Victor. I mean, there's some serious considerations for HLE where they're like, they could maybe do this Baron. We have to stick around here, try to defend this turret. TP is very aggressive.
There's the teleport from Kingen, looking to try and make his way in. Oh, the bubble under life is so good. As Kingen, can he find Showmaker? Showmaker might just die, and yes, he is going to go down. Can they find any more is the question. As I think Showmaker kind of just gave up the ghost there, realizing, yep, I am not quite as fast off the back of that one, because Showmaker also collects his Void Stuff. These are a few decent item spikes. Vector's Cal done, and kind of gets a stopwatch as well. He can frontline, but I don't know whether they can get here in time. They do have vision, but this is going down extraordinarily quickly as Showmaker trying to run in. Kingen finds the flank angle, Clid locks down the Drake. Viper ults, and he has a lot of safety right now, avoids the tidal wave. Canna flashes on top of him, but I don't know whether it's quite going to be enough. Kingen goes down first, and now Deft is dashing around in the back of the fight. Viper needs to find these autos, and this very moment, it could happen. He manages to split up Dplus, but everyone makes it out. They don't get the Drake, and that's the main thing. But top laner, jungler, both dead. The Baron on the table.
Yeah, they are just going to rush straight for this, and they have a Victor with enough damage to actually push this one down. So at the end of the day, HLE, they stop the Infernal Soul, but they lose the ensuing fight, and Zeka does no damage comparatively to Showmaker there in that last fight, and he's just kind of zoning away while Kana is on top of the carries, and one last maybe flip attempt.
Yeah, this is pretty desperate though, as they don't have any smites available. They just turn immediately. Canyon sticks on the Baron, and now Deft trying to get that culling through. Showmaker goes very low. I don't think it matters whatsoever. So now,
and if he backs away, you're like, cool, we win the fight.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of locked into no good options as HLE. At least they stop the Infernal Soul. The game goes on. Zeri's looking for
could be worse as Viper. Oh dear. There's the Wild Growth. Life and Viper gonna have to vacate this area as, my goodness, okay. Deft and Kellen, fair bit of damage available next to one another. Tidecaller's Blessing as well as a Imperial Mandate. There we go.
After the Kingen debacle, where he was able to pick Showmaker, look at the line of vision. No flank wards, they just push that off the map here. And there's no Drake for 2 more minutes here, so Dplus put all of their vision topside, try to siege this up with the last minute of this Baron buff. They're getting a ton of damage done, and there's no real counterplay here for Kingen because he doesn't have the opportunity to set up a flanking cast.
Yeah.
Only if Dplus overstep does he have any agency. No, these two players have shaped how the lead has ballooned and exploded here.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed how Kanna's played this matchup because it can be very frustrating playing into this as Showmaker's just walking towards Viper. He's going to have to get out of there. Unable to stop the back onto Zeka as they can see, but 8 seconds to go, and look at how far DK have pushed HANWHA Esports away from this Drake pit. Canna over here as well.
And they've moved all that vision.
Standing there together. Okay, this teleport going to come forward. Kingen will turn up, but it's pretty face up. Dplus here can move back into position.
They moved all the vision here. That was the one ward Kingen could have teleported to, but he's seen instantly and doesn't actually get a flank.
Oh dear. Deft is still really dangerous as Clid moves over. Ardent Blaze not doing a lot of damage at this stage of the game, as we can see, but HANWHA, they have to walk in. They have to figure out a way to make it work as Kingen going down solo. Tidal Wave comes in. He gets knocked up, but he flashes away. Kingen, all right, you're an agile, portly gentleman,
but no TP.
Will make it to safety.
Yeah, no TP. Can't get back here very easily. They're just going to push the envelope.
Yeah, Canyon just throwing his Warrior Trickster in there. and they'll just back away again. They're testing, trying to get cooldowns. Every single time they want the full commit from HANWHA Life, as now they'll say, oh, I guess we'll get a Consolation Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even without the Cyclone here, there's so many ways to lock Zeri down that without your tank, without your Gragas, that's just Infernal Soul over. Viper looks super frustrated. He's calming a lot here, but I think he's got hope that maybe there still will be one team fight in this game where he can pop off and maybe bring this one back, because we have seen it, right? We've seen it from this player specifically on this champion.
Oh, yeah.
It's not impossible, but the tools that you have here or don't have are so apparent in these fights. Like, Kingen is so low, he gets out with the Wild Growth, but now you don't have Wild Growth. Kana still has his stun. He still has his GA. They still have choke point control. They're clearing all these wards. And with Kingen using that teleport just to try to help his team get to a 5v5 position, he can't then return to this fight, so it's a free Drake. I mean, a free, I guess, you could say. I mean, that was well played by Dplus to nearly pick him there.
And I wonder who Mako sent a message to at the beginning of today to wish them luck. Was it Viper or was it Deft? You know, who was his favorite bottom lane EDG duo partner?
I'd say I wouldn't be shocked if he sent them both a message.
Yeah, I hope
Seems
so
like
too.
that kind of guy.
He is definitely that kind of guy. As, all right, in goes Clid, throws the ultimate to Narnia. No one's in prison now as, okay, party casts all over the place. Showmaker really great footwork. He goes golden as well as Dplus here. Can you protect your mid laner? The answer is no, but they're going to win the fight anyway. If you can't protect them, avenge them! And they will. Zeka, the last man standing, he'll shift some sand, but he won't be able to shift his Nexus away from the bulldozer that is Dplus Kia. Canna is following him down, and I think this is the 2-0. I think Dplus Kia have got this is such an important win for this team.
It really is.
They needed this confidence boost after the loss to KT, and they will do it, and this was not close, guys.
No. And after game one went the way it did, I'm not surprised, especially when you see some of those small errors, right? The failed dive, that pick mid, like these are mistakes you make when you're frustrated, when you're having emotional problems, you know, after
Okay, double tap, not going to be enough as Zeka gets the Wild Growth Life, just running forward, desperately trying to... Look at Lulu in front of this Renekton. It kind of states just how this this series is felt right now, as the Nexus will go down. All business for Dplus Kia. They're not wasting their time getting kills. They're just getting ready for their next series.
Showmaker looks like he's exhausted after the series. I think he played... You know, I think
that last play against Kingen where he just completely outplays him, I think that's where Showmaker's like, all right, I didn't enjoy dying this entire game, but I felt good about that.
Yeah, I was